Yep, I guess we're talking about this. Master Chief, and indeed pretty much all of the Spartans, are most immediately recognisable and known for their iconic Mjolnir powered assault armour. And whilst newer platforms of Mjolnir powered assault armour have become slightly easier to put on and take off with the help of mechanical armature systems as opposed to a team of technicians, the fact remains that this armour is not designed to be really quickly taken off and put on. Which means, quite naturally, you've got to ask the question, how do Spartans go to the bathroom? This is a question I've actually received more often than I care to mention, and today I have a few bits of information for you that go a good way to answering these questions. So, yeah, roll the intro. Hey everyone, welcome back to Installation 00, and this video is quite clear and to the point. We're going to be answering the question of how the Spartans go to the bathroom. The Spartans wear nearly half a metric ton of Mjolnir powered assault armour, and this system is not designed to be put on or taken off at a moment's notice. This then necessitated the fact that Spartans would very rarely be seen outside of their suits. But then ultimately designing a suit of battle armour that the occupant is very rarely going to be without, you then have to take into account natural bodily functions of the individual as well as comfort levels and survivability in different environments. Now of course Mjolnir powered assault armour was kind of designed as an all-in-one platform. It is above all meant to maximise the survivability of the individual wearing it during combat. But beyond that, it has life support systems, air filtration systems, radiation proofing, electromagnetic pulse proofing, it's vacuum proof, it regulates temperature, it has an inbuilt supply of breathable oxygen, it has medical administration systems, all of which allow this armour to function and serve the user in hot environments, cold environments, dry environments, wet environments, the vacuum of space, environments with a non-breathable or toxic atmosphere, places with high levels of radiation, as well as the very obvious protection gained on the battlefield. The Gen 1 platforms, most recognisably worn by the Spartan 2 super soldiers, was designed to be put on and taken off with a team of technicians, and could take up to 45 minutes per suit. The Gen 2 platforms, most recognisably worn by the Spartan 4 super soldiers, made some significant improvements in the modularity of the design of the suit overall to increase this putting on and taking off speed. This included the Spartans themselves wearing a BDU or battle dress uniform that serves the function as a comfort layer but also contains many pieces of technical equipment and sensing arrays to facilitate some of the functions of the suit. Onto the top of this, via the triangular hardpoints dotted across the BDU surface, the Under Armour of the Gen 2 platform would be affixed. The Under Armour is both a soft armour component but also contains the movement systems that allow the Mjolnir powered assault armour to move and function under power assist, with the final components being the heavy armour plating of the Gen 2 platform that are affixed over the top of the Under Armour via the Broker armour mechanism, which is a multi-axis Da Vinci style assembly system that autonomously attaches all of the armour components onto the Gen 2 platform in but a few moments. We still don't know how long it takes to put on the Under Armour over the top of the BDU, as we've never seen it on screen or indeed it be extrapolated in any novelizations. But what we do know is that the armour plates at the least can be put on and taken off very, very rapidly. But it necessitates being close to a Broker armour mechanism, and Spartans are frequently deployed for days at a time. And moving on once again from that is the new Gen 3 platform, which takes heavy inspirations from both the Gen 1 and Gen 2 platforms, although again we have never seen this armour actually being put on, nor has it been explained in any novelizations, so we ultimately don't know if it bears more of a resemblance to the speed of putting on the Gen 1 platform or the Gen 2 platform, or if it's in a category of its own and it's become even faster with the Gen 3 platform. But ultimately, no matter what way you look at it, there's really very little chance that a Spartan could be caught short on the battlefield and need to go to the toilet and have easy access to a Broker armour mechanism, or a team of technicians to take off the armour and go and relieve themselves. So, as I've already alluded to, the armour system itself is designed to accommodate these physical functions. Now before we go any further, I just want to clarify the sources for this following information. So it was discussed by both Joseph Staten and Frank O'Connor in years past about this particular function of Mjolnir. And whilst at face value the explanations that were given are rather crude, we have since received a novel, Halo Glasslands, that goes a decent way to explaining at least how one particular platform of Mjolnir goes about dealing with the Spartans' waste products. And the final hypothesis I will put forward is based loosely on the established lore of Mjolnir powered assault armour, while also putting forward some very conservative leaps of logic as to how these specific functions of the suit could be facilitated without being outlandish or unreasonable. So that final explanation could be really classed as my own personal headcanon. Take it or leave it. But first things first, the word from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Now, Joseph Staten was asked on this subject and he said, and I quote, "You know what? He just does it. Master Chief doesn't have time to worry about bodily fluids, he's got more important things to do, and clearly he just does that in the suit." He did go on to say, however, "We don't actively think about it every day, but yes, at some point we did, and it was part of the design of the underlayer of the greyish sort of suit that you see beneath the armour plating." So Joe's opening quote suggests that Chief just pees himself and that's that. However, goes on to clarify that it was some sort of function of the inner suit that it kind of just deals with it. Frank O'Connor's thoughts on the subject went a little way to clarifying this second part of Joe's statement, saying that there's a non-invasive physical connection beneath and part of the base layer. Spartans don't wince when they suit up. Catheter implies invasion, but is really used in the Mjolnir sense to describe a hygienic valve system. Thank goodness for 26th century super materials and bespoke tailoring. Capillary action happens after voiding, recycling is almost perfectly efficient. So from this clarification we can surmise that the undersuit, the BDU so to speak, of Mjolnir has a non-invasive catheter, basically a super material that will absorb and redirect excreted bodily fluids, and then send them through a recycling and purification system, resulting in clean water and negligible waste product. However, Frank then goes on to say that due to all of the secretions staying inside of the suit, Master Chief likely smells very bad. However, this particular quote is also contradicted by recent emergent lore from Halo Infinite.
They smell even worse than I imagined.
You can smell them.
Well, an array of sensors in your armor can, and I analyzed the input. You smelled fine, by the way.
Now, given the fact that the weapon says that Chief smells fine, this suggests that the actual process isn't as crude as is suggested and is likely considerably more sophisticated, possibly even to the point of being nearly sterile. The next reference comes from Halo Glasslands, when Spartan Naomi 010 was asked about exactly this subject while wearing her experimental Mark 7 Mjolnir powered assault armor, that she is catheterized and that the suit is quote unquote plugged into her in more places than she cares to mention. Now again, the catheter doesn't necessarily mean that there is a tube that's been inserted, it could again just mean that it's a non-invasive catheter, utilising extremely advanced super materials to draw fluids away from the body and then send them through a recycling system. But in all of these examples so far, we only seem to be dealing with fluids. And as we all know, fluids is only one part of this equation. And I think all of us can agree, dealing with the fluids, I think we'd all be relatively okay with if it's just a case of simply going and then the water from that is then recycled and filtered and purified, and then ultimately we just get fresh drinking water and basically negligible quantities of actual waste product, then yeah, I think most of us would be okay with that. But it's the other part of this equation where things get a little less clear. So this is where I take what's already been established in the lore and slightly extend upon it logically to a point where it's no longer really canon, but it's what I consider to be my head canon. So again, take this with a pinch of salt, but also feel free to give me your opinions on whether or not this is a reasonable conclusion to come to. So my headcanon goes as follows. If the Spartan in question needs to pee, they pee, and a non-invasive capillary action supermaterial draws the fluid away and sends it through a recycling and water purification system, basically resulting in clean, drinkable water and negligible waste product. Mjolnir itself carries a variety of different medicines and medical administration systems, I see no reason whatsoever that the undersuit wouldn't be fitted with some sort of sterile spray or something along those lines to keep things hygienic where they need to be. This would keep the Spartan comfortable and also mean that the area there would be sterile and there would be no growth of bacteria which could cause infections or just general discomfort and unpleasant and offensive odours. Dealing with pee, very clinical, very efficient, no real problems there. When dealing with fecal matter, my headcanon says that the water that has effectively been liberated from the recycling and purification system is now available to be used within the system, either to be consumed by the Spartan in question, or utilised and redirected for other hygiene reasons. In this particular case, the liquid medium of a non-invasive colonic irrigation. Now, this isn't to be confused with an enema. An enema only clears the lower colon, while a colonic irrigation cleans the colon and the lower intestinal tract. Basically, when the Spartan feels like they need to go, they voluntarily engage the system. It redirects the water and discreetly pumps it into the colon and lower intestine, and then pumps the water back out again where it's sent through a similar water purification and filtration system that renders the water drinkable quality once more, while also leaving behind small quantities of waste product that could either be compressed and then discarded through the suit itself, or actually sent to, in theory, the fusion reactor where it's effectively just carbonized. Of course, you also have to bear in mind that Spartans do have a significantly more efficient digestive system and produce strikingly less waste product than a normal human being. So even the natural process of going number 2 for a Spartan is that much more clinical and efficient. I admit it's not a very glamorous image to be painting, but within the context of the lore of the Halo universe, I think it makes a lot of sense, while being clinical, efficient, and without being overtly crude or unpleasant. So that's what we know about dealing with waste products in Mjolnir-powered assault armor. Now, I'd be curious knowing your opinions as to whether or not my headcanon makes the most sense of these options, or whether you prefer the description given in Halo Glasslands, or if you have your own headcanon. I'd love to hear it. Pop it in the comments down below. And hey, we got through this together. Until next time. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider smashing the like button and leave a comment below on what you'd like me to cover next. Big shout out to my patrons, Spartan10148, the Metarch of my installation, Falcon, Prophet Bear, Mikhail, Sophia, and Ashley, my dutiful monitors, Darian, Scarab, Spartan0137, Anthony, Ghost, Aaron, Chris, Jacob, Sean, Element Zero, Somatic, Jordan J3, Dan, Mr. Keys, Directal, Gunslinger, Jacob, Bandmill, Echo, Evermore, Officer Cat, and Personal Devil, my diligent sub-monitors, my fleet of Strato Sentinels, and my loyal enforcers. And all the other patrons who have jumped aboard to support the channel. It means more to me than I can accurately put into words. Another shout out to my Tier 0 Transcendent YouTube members, Spartan137, Jacob, Schmitty, Talia, Fenrir, and Born Stella, and all the other YouTube members keeping my installation running on that glorious vacuum energy. Shout out to John for I don't fucking know. And if you want more of this kind of content, hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon so you don't miss any future videos, and consider jumping aboard yourself as a patron or YouTube member to keep the channel alive and kicking. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy, everyone, and find peace in the domain.